Hi everyone, my name is Eliza and this is Eliza's Bookshelf. Today I want to go over 23 books that I want to read in 2023. And who knows? Who knows if I will actually read them, but I saw Daphne's video about this. Actually, a lot of people have been doing this video, but I was talking to Daphne. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this video or not because I don't know if I have like 23 books that I want to read next year, but as I was making my list, it just kept growing and growing and I was like, shoot, I need to stop somewhere. And so yes, this is my 23 books that I want to read in 2023. So I'm going to group this in orders of genre, and then lastly are like backlist books that I didn't get to this year that I still really want to read. And I tried to narrow it all down to 23 books. So first I want to go over my romance books that I want to read. And this is gonna be a long video because it's a lot of books. Hopefully I will just touch base a little bit on them. But so romance books that I want to read in 2023. First one is X's and O's by Amy Leah. I read her debut novel earlier this year called, what's it called? I forgot what it's called, but Kaylee told us about it and we read it and it was so good. Dang, it's bugging me right now. But anyways, I read her debut novel and this one is the second one, I believe in the same series or same realm, same, you know, similar characters. You have this woman named Tara Chen and she's like a social media influencer, romance novel connoisseur, and so she's like, what am I doing wrong? How come I'm not in a happy relationship? So she's revisiting all of her exes, and so she ropes in this firefighter guy who you are introduced to in the first book, and so he's like helping her with what went wrong back then, but you know, they get the feels for each other, I presume. So I'm so excited for that one, especially because that firefighter we were introduced to in the first book, he was really cool. The next one is called A Guide to Being Just Friends by Sophie Sullivan. This is actually number 3 in the series. It is the Jansen Brothers series, and I didn't know that. I think the first one was called like Fake It Until You Make It or something like that, right? So this is actually number 3, but I think it's one of those that you can read as a standalone. It's just like if you read the others, you would probably appreciate the side characters more. But I was really excited about this book because I love friends to lovers romances. And so this one, you have 2 characters. One is named Haley, the other is named Wes. And Haley, I think she owns a chopped salad restaurant and she's like, I don't have time for relationships. I have to be focused, no distractions. I need to focus on my startup shop, I think. And so Wes, he's also like not into relationships because he's, I don't know, I think he had like bad experiences back then, and he also has parents who are divorced, so he's like, everything's messy, I don't want to love anyone, it's just gonna end in heartbreak. I just want someone who can be a companion, someone that I'll enjoy, you know, spending time with, but no love, please. So they're both like not in the market for a relationship, but they meet and they're like, all right, let's just be friends. But obviously they can't be friends because this is a friends to lovers romance, and I'm so excited for that one. All right, that's the second one, and let's see what's next. Oh my gosh, okay, so Abby Jimenez's next book is coming out next year, and it's called Yours Truly. Honestly, I mean, the next few books I really don't remember what it is about. It's just like these are my auto-buy authors, and so Abby Jimenez really got me roped in when I read her book Life's Too Short. She had Part of Your World this year, which I did not like as much as Life's Too Short, but honestly, like I'll read anything she writes now. I'll read. She has a bakery that she runs out there yonder, like states away from me, so I'm like, I'm never gonna have her baked goods, but like I'll read her recipes if she'll put them out. Okay, so I just read the synopsis to Yours Truly and it sounds crazy. So basically you have, and I don't know about this one, I don't really like reading about doctors or nurses in books because I'm like, I'm always living in that world, so I don't like reading about it. And I think Part of Your World has something like that in it, and I didn't really like it, but we'll see. I'll give this a try. I just love Abby Jimenez, and I'll read anything she writes. So this one is about 2 doctors, and the female doctor, Dr. Brianna Ortiz, her life is just like falling apart, right? Her brother has like a kidney disorder and running out of time to get a kidney transplant. What else is happening? I don't know. Her divorce, she's getting divorced and it's finalized, and so her life is kind of like crappy right now. And in comes this other doctor who is competing with her for this promotion that she wants, and so she's like, this guy's an asshole. Turns out he's not really an asshole, he just like, you know, just wants that job and is terrible at first impressions. And so he writes her a letter kind of explaining that he is just, you know, awkward. And so they continue to write letters and they form a relationship that way. And then bam, he's like, I'll donate my kidney to your brother. I don't know. It just sounds crazy. So I'm excited to read that one. Next one is by Emily Henry and it's called Happy Place. It is coming out April 25th, 2023. And Emily Henry is also one of those authors that I now just buy whatever they put out because their covers are amazing. I generally really enjoy them. Like her last book, what was it called? Book Lovers? I love too. Like it was so cute. I didn't like it as much as People We Meet on Vacation, but I love her books. And so she's coming out with a book called Happy Place. Let's see. A couple who broke up months ago make a pact to pretend to still be together. Oh shit. Ha! That sounds crazy. I don't know. So I guess this couple, they like broke up a few weeks ago, but their friends and family don't know, and so they continue to pretend to be dating, and so it's just like an awkward week of them pretending to be together, still trying to fight their feelings. Interesting. I don't think I've read a book like that before, but I'm excited for that one. The next one is called Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. This is coming out on May 2nd, 2023. I read her debut novel earlier this year called, well, not that earlier. Actually, I read it like last month or so. But anyways, her first book is called Every Summer After, and it's basically a lot like Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, but I loved it a lot more. Just because the twist, I can live with it a little bit better. I don't know, they both kind of sucked, but anyways, I liked it more. So I'm really excited to see what our subsequent books are going to be like. So Meet Me at the Lake is her next one. I actually requested this on NetGalley and I have yet to hear back, so I'm thinking that's a no. But anyways, I just have to wait half a year and that's fine. You have this woman named Fern and then you have this guy named Will, and years ago, I think when they were in their 20s, they met for like 24 hours. They had a wonderful time with each other and then they make a pact to meet again 1 year later. And so 1 year later, Fern is ready to meet up with Will, but Will stood her up. So he's like missing. She'd never heard from him again. And so years later, she is not really where she wants to be in her life. She is still in her hometown with her family and stuff like that. And in comes Will 9-10 years later. And he's there like trying to help her out, making more promises, but she doesn't really trust him. So, ooh, that sounds heartbreaking, but I'm excited to read this one. Who knows? If I really like that one too, then Carly Fortune might be another auto-buy author for me. Next one is Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This would be like the third book that I've read from her. The first one is The Cheat Sheet, and then the second one is When in Rome, one of my favorite romance books, and then this one is Practice Makes Perfect. This one comes out May 2nd, 2023, and it follows like some characters that you meet in When in Rome as well. So I guess I forgot all the characters in When in Rome, but basically it follows Annie Walker, who is from Rome, Kentucky, and then it follows Will, who's like the bodyguard of the pop star from the first book. And so Annie Walker, she's like, she overhears her, this is really crappy, honestly, but she overhears her date calling her very boring, and so she's like, crap, am I boring? What's wrong with me? And so she gets Will, the bodyguard, to be her tutor of sorts and teach her what she's doing wrong. And so yes, sounds cute. It doesn't take long for the lines of their friendship to blur. Oh my god, I love it. Let's see. Oh, the next one is Christina Lauren's next book called The True Love Experiment, I believe. Yes, The True Love Experiment. It also comes out in May 16th, 2023. Yes. I don't know what this one is about. Romance novelist and documentary filmmaker join forces to craft the perfect Hollywood love story and take both their careers to the next level, but only if they can keep the chemistry between them from taking the whole thing off script. Oh, okay, so it doesn't really have anything to do with the soulmate equation. I thought it did because someone's like, we need to read that before we read this one, but no, I don't think so. The next one I want to read is Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. I read a few books from her and I think she's getting a lot of attention again when The Bodyguard came out as one of the Book of the Month picks, and I think her covers also changed a little bit, but yes, she's getting a lot of attention now, which she definitely deserves because her books are just so phenomenal. This one is Hello Stranger. It is coming out on July 11th, 2023. I actually got sent like an e-arc of this automatically. I didn't have to request or anything. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm so excited to read this. I will definitely like start reading it in the new year. I've read a lot about these people with facial blindness. Like they can't recognize people's faces. They can see like a general blob, I presume. I've read a lot about this in mostly mystery thriller books because as you can tell, it like sets up a good storyline. Like, oh, I'm a witness of this, you know, horrible murder or event, but I can't really tell you what the person looks like, so I can neither confirm nor deny that this person is who I think killed, you know. So definitely sets up well in mystery thrillers. I think Alice Feeney did one. What else? I think there was another book called The Resting Place, but yes, so I've never heard of it in this one. So basically you have Sadie Montgomery, who's like a portrait artist, and she finally caught her big break. She's like a finalist in this competition, I think, but like a week or two before, she has to go in for minor surgery, and she's like, all right, they told me I'm gonna heal in time, so I'm gonna go along. But when she gets out of that surgery, she no longer recognizes faces. And you know, obviously for her job, that's what she has to do. She does portrait paintings, and so that sounds crazy. So yes, Sadie is having trouble with her job, and she meets Dr. Addison, who's like helping her out, but I think they form some sort of relationship. The next one I want to read is The Summer Girl by Elle Kennedy. Apparently this is number 3 in the Avalon Bay series. I honestly thought that was just a duology. So when I saw that this was coming out, I was like, oh my gosh, what a crazy surprise. This one comes out on July 18th, 2023, and it follows this girl who's going back to Avalon Bay. She hasn't been there for years, but since her parents split up, she like left the area. So she's back, and she wants a summer fling with this guy named Tate. I don't remember Tate from the first book, so I don't remember. Like the first 2 books follows these brothers, so that's why I thought that was it. But apparently there's this Tate guy, sailing instructor. Anyway, so she wants to have a passionate fling with Tate. And Tate is like usually all for these things, but the moment he sees this girl, Cassie, he's like, no, I don't want to fling with you because you are someone I want to be serious with. So like, yes. That sounds so cute. Honestly, like Elle Kennedy's recent books, they're very like light, not very tear jerking or anything. So it's nice when I just want to read a cute romance. So yes, I am excited for that one. So next I'm going to talk about the mystery thriller books that I want to read in 2023. First, we have The Sanctuary by Katrine Engberg, and I don't know if I pronounced her name right, but she writes Scandinavian crime fiction. This one comes out on February 7th, 2023. These books, these like Scandinavian Nordic noir type of crime fiction books, are very, very dark and gruesome and gory. So if you're into those type of books, please join along. But this one follows the same detective in the other books. This is like, I don't know, number 4 or 5, I forget. But it follows the same detective. She's like nursing a broken heart, and so she hides away into this other area, and she meets up with someone else who they eventually team up to try to figure out this crime mystery. Basically, they found like a severed body. So it just like connects all these players together back to their hometown. And so I'm so excited to get back into like a dark, nitty-gritty crime fiction book. So that is the first one. The next one is The Angel Maker by Alex North. This one comes out on February 28th, 2023. Which one did I read? I read Alex North's The Whisperer Man, and another one came out that I did read. I just remember I liked one more than the other. Like I think it was the first one that really scared me, and the second one was just okay. And so this one would be the third book that I've read from Alex North. I really want to read it. It is a dark, suspenseful new thriller about the mysteries of fate, the unbreakable bond of siblings, and a notorious serial killer who was said to know the future. Crazy. Oh snap. Okay, so this book is like about a serial killer who can apparently tell the future, and also ties back to this family who, you know, there's like these 2 siblings. The girl is named Katie Shaw and the boy is named Christopher. And when they were younger, something horrible happened and she's always felt guilty about it. Years later, she has a child of her own and she's like really trying to protect her child, but something else happens to Christopher, and so she's called back to try to protect him again. And I don't know, it just sounds so crazy because there's like the serial killer that is, you know, doing something now and also related to whatever happened a long time ago. And apparently this serial killer can tell the future. Oh, so crazy. The next one I want to read is by Alex Finley. I've honestly haven't read anything by Alex Finley before, but a few have caught my eye. The next one is What Have We Done? And it's coming out on March 7th, 2023. So you have 3 people who lived in a home that was specifically meant for parentless teens and stuff like that, but they formed a friendship, but something happened at that place, and so they separated. They now live successful lives even though they were traumatized or haunted by their past, but now they are coming together because there's like a killer that's trying to kill all of them. So yeah, sounds crazy. To save their lives, the group will have to revisit the nightmares of their childhood and confront their past. A past that holds a secret to why someone wants them dead. It's a reunion none of them asked for or wanted, but it may be the only way to save their lives, so that sounds crazy. Next one is Riley Sager's book. Of course, Riley Sager. Riley Sager and Ruth Ware, and who else? They all just write like crazy different types of books or different tropes in their genre, and I end up liking all of them. The next one he's written is called The Only One Left, and it comes out in June 20th, 2023. And I'm laughing because when he did little like snippets and previews of the book on his Instagram, I was like, this sounds kind of stupid, but I'm going to read it. Look, at 17, Lenora Hope hung her sister with a rope, stabbed her father with a knife, took her mother's happy life. It wasn't me, Lenora said, but she's the only one not dead. So basically, like Lenora, oh my god, it sounds really creepy. I'm so excited for this one. So basically Lenora, as a child, she's like accused of killing her family members because she's like the only one there, and she doesn't have any explanation. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't, you know, it looks pretty clear that she's the killer. And so now she's like super old. She has a series of strokes. She's now mute. She can't talk or communicate. And so she actually types out saying, I want to tell you everything now. And so now it's like, okay, what happened? I'm so excited for that one. All right, now we get into the fantasy sci-fi books that I want to read in 2023. The first one is called The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. Hannah Witten wrote a few books that well, maybe just one book that I read and another one that I'm going to read, but I read For the Wolf, and then the next book in that series is called For the Throne. I think it's just a duology too, so you can read it as a whole now, but I read the first one and I really liked it. I haven't read the second one, but she's coming out with a new series called Nightshade Kingdom series. So let's see what this one is about. In a lush, romantic, new epic fantasy series, a young woman's secret power to raise the dead plunges her into the dangerous and glamorous world of the sainted king's royal court. So it sounds like a lot of political intrigue, a lot of like mysterious powers. I'm excited for that one. I actually got an e-arc of it on my NetGalley, so I just need to read it because it's coming out on March 7th, 2023. So I do have a few months to read that one, but yes, I'm so excited. Next one is called A Soul of Ash and, what is it? A Soul of Ash and Blood. These titles are not getting more unique or clever, but it is by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It is in the From Blood and Ash series, and it's basically the first book but told in Hawke's point of view. And I know a lot of people were kind of angry about that because they just want to see what's coming out next in the series or what's going to happen next, but now we're just going back in time and getting Hawke's point of view. But I am so excited for that, honestly, because I want to see his point of view. I read like an extra bonus scene that Jennifer L. Armentrout wrote and put on her website about Hawke's point of view, and I really liked it. I do want to see his point of view throughout the whole book, so I'm excited for that one. When does it come out? It comes out July 18th, 2023, so middle of the year. I'm so excited. Next one is A Queen of Thieves and Chaos by K.A. Tucker. This one is coming out September 5th, 2023, so a lot of like the fantasy books are coming out later in the year. The ones that I want to read at least. And so this one is number 3 in the, what is it called? Fate of Blood and Stone trilogy? I think it's a trilogy, but this is number 3. I read the first book, I really liked it, and it definitely held me over while I was waiting for the next From Blood and Ash books, but I think it was good. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting into the second book though because I forgot so many details of the first book. I tried to find like a summary of the first book, but I don't think it's that popular that I don't see many people summarizing it online. And so I'm trying to see if I can just push through and just keep reading and be reminded of the things of the first book, or if I need to reread the first one. But the third book is coming out next year, so I need to figure out my life. I definitely want to read it. The next one is The Ash Fire King by Chelsea Abdullah. This one comes out November 14th, 2023. It's the second in the Sandsea trilogy. If you know me, I have been raving on and on about The Stardust Thief, number 1 in this trilogy. I loved it so much. It ended on a wild cliffhanger, and I need to know what happens to my favorite characters. So I am definitely pre-ordering The Ash Fire King. And the last one is called A Fire in the Flesh. This one is the third and final book in the Flesh and Fire series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And what can I say? I am a big From Blood and Ash fan, if you haven't known. But yes, that is all my sci-fi, I guess it's just fantasy. That's all my fantasy books that I want to read next year. And now we'll go into the 5 backlist books that I want to read. These are the books that I wanted to read this year, and I just haven't gotten to it, and I still really, really want to read it. And they're not necessarily published in 2022. It's just books that I really, really wanted to read earlier this year, and I just haven't made time for it. And first one is Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. This is number 2 in the Stormlight Archive series. And I'm saying this as of right now. I still haven't finished The Way of Kings, but I am on a good track. I think I'm going to finish it by the end of this year. By the end of this month, and so I want to read the second one next year. I'm giving myself the whole year. I'm just really slow with this books. I just like savoring it, and it's just like a nice bowl of warm French onion soup. It's just so heartwarming to me. But anyway, so yes, I want to read that next year, and hopefully I'll just continue on with the Stormlight Archive series. Next one I want to read is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I have read a lot of her books in the past, I think, but I haven't read a lot of her recent books. I was talking to Daphne about this, and I know she enjoyed this one. It was really sad. She met her in New York. That is wild. I'm so jealous. I want to meet Kennedy Ryan. She seems awesome. But yes, this is like a second chance romance novel about 2 people who were married, and so now they're like separated or divorced. I forgot what. But they have a child together, and so yeah, that's all I know, really. It sounds really sad. So that's why I haven't read it yet, but I do want to read it. The cover looks amazing, and if you can touch the book, it's just like a nice matte cover feel. I love that. The next one is Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and someone else. So this is actually 2 authors together. I didn't know that, or I didn't realize that at first, but it is by 2 authors, and I wanted to read this book earlier this year. I just never got around to it. It's like a family drama fiction book. And so I can imagine this becoming adapted into like a TV series or something like that in the future, if not already. You have like 2 families, I think, and then one of the families, one of the daughter gets killed, and so this other family, that son is being blamed, but you don't really know if he is actually to blame. But yes, that's all I know about that. I just know that Jodi Picoult, a long time ago when I wasn't like a huge book nerd or a book lover person, like I love books all my life, but this is like an obsession type of hobby right now. And so a long time ago, I think I was in high school, I read The Pact by Jodi Picoult. It's basically these 2 teens who made a pact to kill themselves together, or made a pact. I forgot. It's just so crazy. But I remember reading that, and it's just like a courtroom drama about what happened, who is to blame. I remember I really loved that one, and that's honestly the only book that I've read from her. I definitely did continue to buy her books, and I just haven't read it yet. But yes, I really want to read Mad Honey. And next one is Pack Up the Moon. I honestly don't remember what this book is about. I remember now. It's so sad. It's no wonder why I haven't read it yet, because it sounds so sad and depressing. If you guys have watched that movie called P.S. I Love You, I think it was with Gerald Butler and Hilary Swank. It's like that. So basically you have this married couple, and then you find out the woman has a terminal illness, and he's like so frantic, he's so distressed, he doesn't really prepare for what is actually going to come when she passes away. But so she has a plan for him, and she writes a letter for him, like 1 letter for every month, about what he can do to like move on with a life without her. And it's so sad, but I do want to read it. I heard it's really good. And the last book is called The Book of Accidents. When I picked this up on a random trip to the bookstore, I thought it was just like a horror novel because it looked like a haunted house, but it's actually like a fantasy horror novel. Let's see, I have to refresh myself because I keep forgetting. There's like this house and some like haunting history with the family that live there, and they've tried to move on, and they have lives now, they're older, but something draws them back, and then, you know, mysterious haunting things happen again. They're like, oh shit, is what happened back then going to happen right now? And there's like some sort of dark magic. I honestly don't know, but I'm excited to read it. Okay, so those are the 23 books that I want to read next year. And so next year, I'm not going to like really put this down and jot it down or anything. It's just books that I definitely am looking forward to. And then at the end of next year, I'm going to rewatch this video and see if I actually got to any of these books. I'm pretty sure I will, but we'll see. I have this thing that I do want to read a lot of my own books before I'm able to buy more books. So it may be like the second half of next year that I'm able to pick up a lot of more of these books, but I'm so excited about these. And so let me know down below what you are excited for in 2023, and let me know if you are excited for any of these that I've listed. But cheers to the new year. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.